Now, how else are we going to, I mean, today, this spending bill comes out today. You wouldn't believe the stuff that's in this spending bill now. You will in a second. We're asking people to pay for a down payment on health care, universal health care. We don't even have a program yet. We've got about $600 billion in here for universal health care. They're just going to save it for you. Just take that money and hold on to it. Really? And how are they going to do it? They're going to tax the rich. Nothing new there. But Obama says that his plan is to end tax breaks for the wealthiest 2% of the population. And that's going to cut the deficit in half. Sounds easy, right? Screw the rich. But let's see how exactly that would work. Scott Hodge, he is the president of the Tax Foundation. End tax breaks and all of our problems are solved, Scott, is what the president says. Can you help us out on, we've created some charts here on taxpayers. The last information we could get is from 2006. So this is what people paid in 2006. Remember when that spike was all the way at the top. Where do we start here, Scott?
Well, what the president is doing is asking a group of people about the population of Chicago to chip in a couple $100 billion over the next couple years to reduce the deficit. There's simply not enough money among that group of people to tax enough to reduce the deficit. And besides of which, he's essentially taxing America's entrepreneurs, because the vast majority of people who earn the kind of money that he's talking about are business owners. And so this will be essentially one of the largest tax increases on small businesses that we've ever seen in America.
Okay, so let's go through some of these charts here. We have 2006 taxpayers. Slide 1, please. 3.8 million taxpayers earned above $200,000. They don't break it down to 250, so this is as close as we could get. That's 7% of total returns. The total is $522 billion. That is 62% of all the income tax that is paid here by anybody who makes over $200,000. 62%. Next slide. Here is the richest 1%. They are 1.65 million filers. This is over 388,000. That is the total of 408 billion, 39% of everything. Now, Scott, can you take us to what happens if we take all of the taxable money? If we could take everything that the top 2% make?
Yeah. Well, the top 1% has total income of about $1.3 trillion. So if we took all of that money, you still wouldn't eliminate the deficit that we'll have this year of $1.7 trillion. Then if you take the additional $500 billion from that next group of taxpayers, you'd only get an additional $500 billion. That would just barely cover the deficit we have. He's simply trying to squeeze blood out of a stone in order to reduce the deficit. This is really class warfare.
I want to throw this last one. America, look at this. This is taking every taxable income from everybody earning more than $75,000. You take it all from anybody over $75,000. That's $4 trillion in 2010. $4 trillion if they take it. By the way, this omnibus spending bill here, this is just about $4 trillion. How are we going to pay for that, Scott?
Well, I think that there's other taxes on the way. You know, as you've shown in these charts, there's just simply so much money that you can get out of this group of people. Eventually, he's going to have to come to the rest of us with higher taxes in order to afford this extraordinarily expensive and ambitious spending agenda that he's got in this budget.
I want to show a letter, and help me out on this, because I personally think, I mean, if this is how we spend our money and it's this complicated, how many pages is the tax code?
Well, it's in the tens of thousands when you include all of the opinions and commentary that goes with it. Okay. And it's simply beyond anyone's imagination.
Okay. I just want to show this letter. Can we bring this full screen up? This is a letter from FDR to the IRS commissioner. He says, Dear Commissioner, I'm enclosing my income tax return for calendar year 1937 together with my check for $15,000. I am wholly unable to figure wholly unable to figure out the amount of tax for the following reason. The first 20 days of January 1937 were part of my first term in office, and these 20 days in the income tax rates of March 4th, 1933 apply. To the other 345 days of the year 1937, the income tax rates they existed on January 30th, 1937 apply. As this is a problem in higher mathematics, may I ask that the Bureau let me know the amount of balance due? The payment of $15,000 doubtless represents a good deal more than half of what the eventual tax will prove to be. Scott, help me out. That was in 1938. Do you think it's as... I mean, the IRS code, what we've got going on with paperwork, it's a weapon to be used against people if they choose to. Even the people who write it say they can't figure out how to pay their taxes, Charlie Rangel. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Well, last year, the commissioner of the IRS had to pay someone else to do his taxes. So when that guy can't even do it on his own, you know that you have a problem. And that's why more than 60% of all Americans pay someone else to fill out their tax forms. And most of it is because they're afraid of making a mistake, incurring penalties, and all of that.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. I don't know about anybody else in America, but I'm just tired of the government saying one thing and doing the exact opposite. And this is not a left-right issue. This is a right-wrong issue. They're both doing it.